The battlefield was silent, but it was not peaceful. Broken ships and burned metal were spread across the ground. Smoke still rose slowly into the dark sky. This was once a place full of life, but now it was empty and cold. A single human soldier walked through the ruins. His armor was damaged, his steps were slow, but his eyes were still alert. His name was Captain Aaron, and he was the last one left from his unit. The war was over, but something did not feel right. The silence was too heavy, too deep. He held his weapon tightly and kept moving forward. Every step made a soft sound on the broken ground. Suddenly, he stopped. He heard something. At first, he thought it was just the wind moving through metal, but then he heard it again, a soft sound. A cry, very weak, very small. Aaron turned his head. Slowly, trying to find where the sound was coming from. He followed the sound carefully, his weapon ready. The cry came from under a broken piece of alien machinery. It was half buried in dust and wires. Aaron moved closer, his heart beating faster. He pushed the metal aside slowly, and then he saw it, a small alien child. She was curled into herself, shaking. Her skin had a soft glow, like faint light under the surface. Her eyes were wide with fear. She looked at him like he was a monster. Aaron froze for a moment. This was the enemy, the same species they had been fighting for years. His training told him what to do. No survivors, no risks. He slowly raised his weapon, pointing it at the child. The child did not move. She was too weak to run. Her small hands held onto a piece of broken metal, like it was the only thing keeping her safe. Aaron's finger moved closer to the trigger, but then the child made a sound, not a scream, not a threat, just a soft voice. "Don't leave me." The words were broken, unclear, but he understood them. Aaron's breath stopped for a second. His grip on the weapon became weak. This was not a soldier. This was just a child, a scared, lonely child. The battlefield suddenly felt different, not like a place of victory, but a place of loss. Aaron lowered his weapon slightly. The child looked at him again. Her glowing eyes filled with tears. She reached out her small hand toward him, slowly, carefully, like she was afraid he would disappear. Aaron stepped back for a moment, his mind full of conflict, orders, duty, survival. All of it was fighting inside him. If he saved her, he would break every rule. If he left her, she would die. He looked around. The battlefield was empty. No one would know. But that did not make the choice easier. The child made another weak sound. She tried to move, but her body failed. She fell forward slightly. Aaron reacted without thinking. He moved closer. The child grabbed his arm tightly. Her grip was weak, but desperate, like he was the only thing she had left in the universe. Aaron looked down at her. His weapon slowly dropped to his side. The scanner on his armor suddenly beeped. He looked at the screen. Warning. Enemy life form detected. High priority target. Aaron stared at the message. Then he looked at the child again, small, scared. Alone, not a weapon, not a threat, just a child. The sound of distant engines echoed in the sky. Enemy ships were coming back. Time was running out. Aaron closed his eyes for a brief second. Then he made his choice. He lowered his weapon completely and reached his hand toward the child. The sound of engines grew louder in the dark sky. Captain Aaron looked up for a second, then back at the child. There was no more time to think. The choice had already been made. He slowly bent down and removed his helmet. The cold air touched his face, but he did not care. He wanted the child to see him, not a machine, not a soldier, a human. The child looked at his face with fear at first, then confusion. She had never seen a human this close before. Aaron spoke softly, his voice calm and slow. "It's okay. I won't hurt you." The child did not understand all the words, but she understood the tone. Her grip on his arm became softer. Aaron gently helped her sit up. She was very light, too light, like she had not eaten for days. Her glowing skin flickered. Weakly, he opened a small pack on his belt and took out a water capsule. He held it near her mouth. At first, she hesitated. Then slowly, she drank small, careful sips, like she was afraid it would be taken away. Aaron watched her quietly, something inside him changing. This was not the enemy he had imagined. This was someone who needed help. The scanner on his armor beeped. Again, louder this time. Enemy patrols were getting closer. Aaron quickly looked around, thinking fast. He could not stay here. He could not leave her. He had to move. He removed his outer cloak and wrapped it around the child. The fabric was rough, but warm. The child held it tightly, like it was protection. Aaron carefully lifted her into his arms. For a moment, she tensed, then slowly relaxed. Her head rested against his chest. She could hear his heartbeat, strong and steady. It made her feel safe. But danger was coming. Red lights appeared in the sky, scanning. Beams moved across the battlefield. Aaron moved quickly, but quietly. Every step had to be careful. One mistake and they would both be seen. The child looked up at him, her glowing eyes searching his face. She whispered something, very soft, a word. He did not understand, but the feeling was clear. She was trusting him. That made everything heavier. Aaron reached a broken wall and moved behind it. He crouched low, holding the child close. A drone flew above them, its red eye scanning the ground. Aaron held his breath. The child stayed very still even. Her glow became weaker, like she was trying to hide. The drone paused for a second, then moved on. Aaron slowly exhaled. But he knew this was just the beginning. He could not hide forever. He needed a plan. He looked toward the far side of the battlefield. There was an old supply bunker, half destroyed. If he could reach it, they might survive the night. He adjusted his grip and started moving again. Faster now, but still careful. The ground was uneven, full of sharp metal and deep holes. Twice he almost fell, but he did not stop. The child suddenly moved in his arms. Her hand grabbed his chest armor. Her glow became stronger for a moment. Aaron felt a strange pulse, like energy passing through him. He stopped, confused. The child looked toward the sky, her eyes wide. Then suddenly, a loud explosion hit the ground behind them. Aaron turned just in time to see another drone crashing. It had been hit by something, but there was nothing there. No weapon, no soldier. Aaron looked back at the child. Her glow slowly faded again. She looked weak, but calm. Did she do that? Was that her power? Aaron did not understand. But one thing was clear. She was not just a normal child, and now saving her had become even more dangerous. The bunker was close now, just a few more steps. Aaron pushed forward with everything he had left. Finally, he reached the broken entrance. He stepped inside. Darkness covered them, for now they were hidden. Aaron gently placed the child on the ground. She looked up at him, her eyes slowly closing. Before she lost consciousness, she whispered again. This time, the word was clearer. Stay. Aaron sat beside her, holding his weapon, watching the entrance. Outside, the sound of engines continued. The hunt was not over, and now he was no longer just a soldier. He was something else, a protector, and he knew. There was no going back. The bunker was dark and cold. Dust filled the air, and broken walls surrounded them. Captain Aaron sat near the entrance, his weapon ready, his eyes watching every shadow. Outside, the sound of enemy ships echoed like distant thunder. They were searching, and they were getting closer. Behind him, the alien child lay still on the ground. Her small body looked even weaker now. Her soft glow was fading in and out, like a dying light. Aaron looked back at her, concern growing in his chest. He moved closer and knelt beside her. Hey, stay with me, he said quietly. She did not respond. Her breathing was slow and uneven. Aaron checked his supplies quickly. Very little water, almost no food, no medical kit. He clenched his jaw. This mission was never meant for survival, but now, it was not just about him anymore. A sudden loud sound shook the bunker walls. Aaron turned instantly, aiming his weapon toward the entrance. A drone passed by outside, its red light scanning everything. It stopped near the bunker. Aaron held his breath. One move, and they were finished. The red light slowly moved across the broken entrance. Closer, then suddenly. The child's body reacted. Her fingers moved slightly. A faint glow spread across her skin. Aaron looked at her in shock. The air around them felt strange. Heavy, like pressure building up. The drone outside froze in the air. Its red light flickered. For a moment, everything was silent. Then the drone suddenly dropped to the ground with a loud crash. Dead, Aaron stared at the entrance. Then back at the child. She had done it again. But this time, it was stronger and more dangerous. The glow around her faded quickly. Her body became still again, like she had used all her energy. Aaron's mind raced. If the enemy discovered this power, they would never stop hunting her, not as a child but as a weapon. Another explosion sounded in the distance. Closer now, Aaron stood up quickly. "We can't stay here," he whispered, even if she could not hear him. He carefully picked her up again. Her body was cold. He wrapped her tighter in his cloak, trying to keep her warm. The bunker was no longer safe. It had already been noticed. He stepped toward the exit slowly, checking outside. Smoke covered most of the battlefield now. Visibility was low. That was his only advantage. Aaron moved fast but low, using broken structures as cover. Every step was a risk. Every shadow could hide danger. The child moved slightly in his arms. Her head rested against his chest again. Her weak glow touched his armor for a moment. Aaron felt that same strange energy, not painful but powerful. Like something alive. He did not understand it, but he knew one thing: he had to protect her. No matter what. Suddenly, a sharp sound cut through the air. A laser shot hit the ground near his feet. Aaron reacted instantly, diving behind a broken wall more. Shots followed. Enemy scouts had found him. He held the child close with one arm and fired back with the other. Precise, controlled shots. 2 scouts went down. But more were coming. Too many. Aaron looked around quickly, searching for escape. Then he saw it. An old transport tunnel, half buried but still open. It was their only chance. He ran, ignoring the pain in his body. Shots followed him, hitting the ground, the walls, the air. The child suddenly opened her eyes. Weak but aware, she looked behind them, toward the enemy. Her glow started to grow again, stronger than before. "No," Aaron said quickly. He could feel the energy building again. Too much, too unstable. "It's okay. You're safe," he said, trying to calm her. The child looked at him, her glowing eyes softening. The energy slowly faded. She trusted him, even now in danger. Aaron reached the tunnel and jumped inside. Darkness swallowed them. The sounds of battle became distant. For now, they were hidden again. Aaron leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. He looked down at the child. She was still awake. Barely her small hand moved and held onto his armor, tight, like she was afraid he would disappear. Aaron gave a small, tired smile. "You're strong. Stronger than you know," he whispered. The child blinked slowly, then her eyes closed again. But this time, she did not look afraid. She looked safe. Aaron looked into the darkness of the tunnel. He knew this was only the beginning. The enemy was searching. War was not truly over, and now, he was protecting something far more important than any mission. Something the whole galaxy might fight for, and he was alone. The tunnel was long, dark, and silent. Cold air moved slowly through the broken walls. Captain Aaron walked carefully, his steps soft but steady. The alien child rested in his arms, still weak but alive. Her faint glow was the only light in the darkness. It guided him forward, like a small star in an empty sky. After some time, Aaron found a small open space inside the tunnel. It looked safer than the rest. No broken ceiling, no open cracks. Just enough space to rest. He slowly sat down and placed the child on the ground. He removed his damaged glove and gently touched her forehead. Still cold, but not as bad as before. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his mind. For the first time since the battlefield, there was silence. No gunfire, no drones, no explosions. Just the sound of quiet breathing. A few moments passed, then slowly the child moved. Her fingers twitched. Her glowing skin became a little brighter. Aaron leaned closer, watching carefully. Her eyes slowly opened, wide, glowing, and no longer full of fear. She looked around the tunnel, confused at first. Then her eyes found Aaron. She stared at him, silent. Aaron gave a small nod. "It's okay. You're safe here," he said softly. The child did not speak, but something had changed. Her body was more relaxed now, her breathing more stable. She slowly sat up, looking at her surroundings. Then she looked back at him again. This time something new appeared on her face, a small, soft smile. Aaron froze for a second. He had not expected that. After everything, after fear, pain, and war, she smiled. It was simple, but real. And it hit him harder than any battle. The child raised her hand slowly, pointing at him. Her voice came out soft and broken. "N." She struggled to form the word. Aaron waited patiently. She tried again. "N. Chore." Aaron blinked in surprise. "Anchor?" He repeated quietly. The child nodded slightly. Her small smile returned. Aaron did not fully understand why she chose that word, but somehow it felt right, like she saw him as something stable, something safe, something that would not leave. Aaron looked down for a moment, thinking, no one had ever called him that before. In war, he was just a soldier, a weapon, but now to her, he was something more. He looked back at her. "You can call me that," he said softly. The child seemed happy with that answer. She moved a little closer to him, still weak, but not afraid. Aaron opened a small ration pack and gave her a little food. She took it slowly, learning how to eat. Every small action showed how young she really was. Not a weapon, not a threat, just a child learning to survive. After eating, she looked at him again. Her glowing hand moved toward him. In her palm, a small light appeared. Soft, warm, and beautiful. Aaron watched carefully. The light formed into a tiny glowing shape, like a crystal. She held it out to him, a gift. Aaron hesitated for a second, then slowly took it. The moment he touched it, he felt warmth. Not just physical, but something deeper. A feeling of trust. The child watched him closely, waiting for his reaction. Aaron nodded gently. "Thank you," he said. The child smiled again, but the moment did not last long. A distant sound echoed through the tunnel. Footsteps, heavy, organized, not enemies, humans. Aaron's body became tense instantly. He stood up and moved toward the tunnel entrance, carefully looking. Out, a squad of human soldiers was moving through the area, armed and alert, searching. Aaron's heart sank. He knew what this meant. If they found the child, they would not see her the way he did. To them, she was the enemy. Or worse, something to capture, study, use. Turned back quickly, the child looked at him, sensing the change. Her glow dimmed slightly. "Stay close," Aaron whispered. The footsteps grew louder. Voices echoed. "Area clear, keep searching." They said a life form was detected here. Narration clenched his weapon tightly. His own people were now a danger. The child moved behind him, hiding, her small hands holding onto his armor again. Trusting him completely, Aaron took a deep breath. His decision was about to be tested again. But this time, the enemy was not who he expected, and he knew he would not give her up. No matter who stood in his way. The footsteps grew louder inside the tunnel. Voices echoed against the walls. Clear and close now. Captain Aaron stood still, his weapon ready, his mind racing. The alien child stayed behind him, her small hands holding tightly to his armor. Her glow was faint, almost hidden, like she was trying not to be seen. A bright light suddenly filled the tunnel entrance. Flashlights, human soldiers stepped inside. Moving in formation, their armor was clean, their weapons raised. They were not tired like Aaron, they were prepared. One of them stopped and pointed forward. "Contact," he said. All weapons turned toward Aaron. For a moment, no one moved. Then a voice came from behind the soldiers. Calm but strong. "Lower your weapon, Captain." The soldiers stepped aside, and a commander walked forward. His armor was marked with high-rank symbols. His eyes were sharp, cold. Aaron did not lower his weapon. The child pressed closer behind him. The commander noticed the movement. His eyes shifted slightly. "What are you hiding?" he asked. Aaron stayed silent for a second. Then he spoke. "It's not what you think." The commander gave a small, humorless smile. "I think it is exactly what I think." He took another step forward. "Step aside." Aaron shook his head slowly. "No." The soldiers tightened their grip on their weapons. The tension in the air became heavy. The commander's expression changed. "Now serious, now dangerous, Captain Aaron. You are disobeying direct orders," he said. "That is an alien life form. Enemy species, high risk. Hand it over." The child moved slightly, peeking from behind Aaron. Her glowing eyes met the commander's cold stare. For a second, everything went quiet. The commander's gaze sharpened. "There it is," he said softly. "Do you even know what you're protecting?" Aaron's grip on his weapon tightened. "She's just a child," he said. A soldier behind the commander laughed quietly. "A child?" The commander raised his hand, silencing him. "That is not a child." The commander said, "That is a weapon." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "No, we have reports." The commander continued. "Energy anomalies, destroyed drones, unexplained signals. That thing is dangerous." The child stepped back slightly, scared by the tone. Her glow flickered. Aaron noticed and moved a little in front of her, blocking the view. "She saved me," Aaron said firmly. The commander shook his head. "It is manipulating you. Step aside, Captain. This is your final warning." Silence filled the tunnel again. Aaron could feel every heartbeat, every breath. Behind him. The child held onto him tighter. He could feel her fear, her trust. He closed his eyes for a brief second, then opened them again, clear, certain. "I won't give her to you," he said. The words echoed in the tunnel. The soldiers reacted instantly, raising their weapons higher. The commander's face showed no surprise, only cold acceptance. "So be it," he said. "Captain Aaron, you are now considered a traitor." The word hit hard, but Aaron did not move. He stepped back slightly, positioning himself between the soldiers and the child. The commander gave a small signal with his hand. "Take the target." Everything happened fast. A soldier moved forward. Aaron fired first. A precise shot, disabling the soldier's weapon. Chaos exploded in the tunnel. Shots fired, lights flashing. Aaron grabbed the child with one arm and moved quickly, using the walls as cover. He did not aim to kill, only to escape. But the soldiers were trained. They followed fast. "Stop him!" someone shouted. The child's glow suddenly increased. The air around them vibrated. Aaron felt it again, that powerful energy. "Not now," he whispered quickly. "We need to move." The child looked at him, her fear slowly calming. The glow reduced again. She trusted him. Even in chaos, Aaron saw a side path in the tunnel, narrow and dark. He ran toward it without hesitation. Shots followed them, hitting the walls. Sparks flew around them. He turned into the path. Disappearing into darkness, the tunnel became silent again. The soldiers stopped at the entrance of the narrow path. "It's too tight," one of them said. The commander stepped forward slowly, looking into the darkness. His eyes cold, calculating. "He won't get far," he said quietly. "Track him." In the darkness, Aaron slowed down, breathing hard. He placed the child down for a moment. She looked at him, her eyes filled with emotion. Not just fear, but something deeper. She reached out and touched his hand. Softly, like she understood everything. Aaron looked at her and gave a small nod. "It's okay," he said, but he knew the truth. Nothing was okay anymore. He was no longer a soldier, no longer part of his people. Now he was alone. With a child the whole galaxy might hunt, and there was no turning back. The narrow tunnel felt endless. Dark walls closed around them, and the air grew heavy with every step. Captain Aaron moved forward slowly now, his energy almost gone. The alien child stayed close to him, walking weakly beside him, her small hand held tightly onto his. She did not want to lose him. Not now, not ever. Behind them, faint sounds echoed. Distant footsteps, tracking signals. They were still being followed. Aaron knew it was only a matter of time. He looked ahead and finally saw a faint light, the end of the tunnel, hope, or maybe another danger. But they had no choice. They moved faster, pushing through the last stretch. As they stepped out, the light hit their eyes. They were no longer underground. They stood in an open valley. Surrounded by broken cliffs and burned land, the sky above was dark, filled with moving ships, enemy ships, human ships. Both sides had arrived. Both sides were searching for the same thing. The child. Aaron stopped, his heart sinking. They were trapped. No place to hide, no way to run. The child looked up at the sky, her glow slowly becoming stronger. She could feel it, the danger, the pressure, the fear all around them. Ships began to land one by one. Heavy metal hitting the ground. Soldiers from both sides stepped out, weapons ready. Their eyes locked on Aaron and the child. For a moment, no one fired. The silence was worse than the battle. Then a voice echoed from a human ship. "Captain Aaron, stand down." It was the commander again, his voice cold and controlled. "You have nowhere left to run." From the other side, alien soldiers moved closer. Their glowing weapons aimed, different species, same goal. Aaron slowly stepped in front of the child, shielding her with his body. His weapon was still in his hand. But he knew it would not be enough, not this time. The child's grip on his arm tightened. Her glow increased, brighter than ever before. The air around them started to shake. Energy built rapidly, stronger than before, more dangerous. Irene felt it instantly. This was not like the other times. This was too much. If she lost control, everything could be destroyed. He turned to her quickly. "Hey, look at me," he said. Her glowing eyes met his. They were filled with fear. She was overwhelmed. She did not understand what was happening. The energy continued to rise. The ground beneath them started to crack. Soldiers stepped back, unsure, weapons still aimed, but hesitation growing. Aaron dropped his weapon slowly. It fell to the ground with a soft sound. He raised his empty hands, not toward the soldiers, but toward her. "It's okay," he said softly. "I'm here." The child's glow flickered wildly. The energy pushed outward, creating waves in the air. Aaron stepped closer, even as the power grew stronger. "I'm not leaving you," he said, his voice calm, steady, like an anchor in a storm. The child's breathing was fast, her small body shaking. She looked at the soldiers, then back at Aaron, confused, scared, lost. "I'm here," he repeated. "You're not alone." The words reached her, slowly. The glow around her began to change, still strong, but less chaotic, more controlled. She stepped toward him, the energy still surrounding her. Aaron did not move back. He stayed where he was, trusting her. She reached him and grabbed his armor, holding him tightly like before. The energy surged one last time, a bright wave spread across the valley. Blinding light filled the air. Ships shook, weapons shut down, soldiers were pushed back. But then silence. The light faded. The energy disappeared. The valley became still again. Smoke drifted slowly through the air. Aaron opened his eyes. His vision blurred for a moment, then cleared. The soldiers were down, ships damaged, everything quiet. He looked down. The child was in his arms again. But this time, she was completely still, her glow gone, her body weak, too weak. "Hey, stay with me," Aaron said quickly, his voice no longer calm, now filled with fear. He gently shook her, but she did not respond. For the first time, the soldier who survived war, who faced death without fear, was afraid, truly afraid. He held her closer, looking around the silent battlefield, and for the first time, he did not care about the war, or the enemy, or the consequences. He only cared about one thing, the small life in his arms, and whether she would open her eyes again. The battlefield was silent, too silent. Smoke slowly moved across the broken valley, covering fallen ships and damaged weapons. Captain Aaron sat on the ground, holding the alien child close to his chest. His hands were shaking slightly, not from battle but from fear for the first time. In his life, he felt something stronger than war loss. He looked down at her small face. Her glow was gone. Her breathing was faint, almost not there. "Hey, don't do this," he whispered. His voice cracked. The same soldier who had survived endless battles now looked helpless. He pressed his hand gently on her chest, hoping to feel something, anything. But there was only silence around him. Soldiers from both sides were still on the ground, recovering slowly, weapons destroyed, ships disabled. No one moved forward, no one spoke. It was as if the entire war had stopped for this moment. Aaron pulled the child closer, wrapping her in his cloak. "You said I was your anchor," he said softly, "so don't drift away now." His eyes were filled with pain. He remembered everything, the battlefield, the tunnel, her first smile, her small voice calling him anchor. It all felt too far away now. A soft sound broke the silence. Very weak, almost invisible. Aaron froze. He looked down quickly. The child's fingers moved slightly. Then her eyes slowly opened, dim but alive. Aaron's breath stopped for a second. Hey, I'm here," he said quickly. The child looked at him, confused at first, then slowly focused. Her glowing eyes were faint, like dying stars. She lifted her small hand and touched his chest, as if confirming he was real. Then she spoke. Her voice was weak but clear. "An chore." Aaron closed his eyes for a moment, overwhelmed. "Yes," he whispered. "I'm here." A small tear rolled down his face. He did not hide it. He did not care anymore. The child slowly sat up in his arms, still weak but alive. Her glow did not return fully, but a soft light began to form again, faint but steady. The valley around them reacted slightly. Broken machines flickered. Energy systems restarted slowly. Not destruction this time, but balance. Aaron looked around, confused, then back at her. "What are you?" He started, but stopped, because he realized something. She was not a weapon, not a danger, not a tool of war. She was something else, something new, a survivor, shaped by fear and trust. The child leaned her head against his chest again, and this time, her breathing became steady, peaceful. Aaron held her gently, not like a soldier holding a target, but like a father holding his child. Around them, the soldiers slowly began to stand, human and alien both, but no one raised a weapon. No one wanted to break this moment. The commander from earlier stepped forward slowly, stopping at a distance. He looked at Aaron and the child. His expression was different now, not anger, not command, but silence, respect. He did not speak for a long moment. Then he lowered his weapon. One by one, other soldiers followed. The war had ended, not with victory, but with understanding. Aaron did not look at them. He only looked at the child in his arms. She opened her eyes again and gave a small, tired smile, soft and real. Then she whispered, "You stayed." Aaron nodded. "I always will," he said. The wind moved gently across the valley, carrying away the dust of battle, and for the first time in a long time, the galaxy did not feel like a battlefield. It felt like a place that could heal. Days later, a small settlement was built far from the war zones, a place where no weapons were allowed. A place for peace. Aaron stayed there, not as a soldier, but as a guardian, and the child stayed with him. No longer alone, no longer afraid. She still called him one word, anchor. And every time she said it, he knew one thing: he had not just saved a life, he had changed the meaning of war itself. And somewhere in the quiet sky above them, a new future slowly began.